Welcome to the Su-25A Frogfoot. The Frogfoot, also called the Grach, is a very capable ground attack aircraft that can destroy almost anything on the battlefield. Before we start blowing up things though, let's first learn how to start this bird up and taxi it to the runway. The first thing I'll ask you to do is turn on the electrical power by pressing right shift and L. That's right shift and L. With the electrical power now engaged, you can see that many instruments and cockpit lights come to life. Before moving the aircraft, make sure that more than 3 minutes have elapsed in order to let the HSI gyro align properly. That's horizontal situation indicator. Now that we have power, let's turn on the nav lights by pressing right control and L. That's right control and L. Next, let's close the canopy by pressing left control and C. That's left control and C. Our next step is to start the two engines. Before you do so, make sure your throttle controller has a 0 power setting. Start the left engine by pressing right Alt and Home. That's right Alt, Home. With the left engine started, press right control and Home to start the right engine. That's right control and Home to start the right engine. On the right side of the instrument panel is the engine gauge, with needles marked 1 and 2 for the two engines. When an engine is being started, one of the two green lights below the gauge will light. Once the light turns off, it indicates the engine is ready for operation. In the lower left corner of the dash is an aircraft symbol that indicates the status of your flaps, landing gear and air brake. Lower your flaps to the takeoff position by pressing left shift and F. That's left shift and F for Freddy. We're now ready to taxi. So slowly increase the throttles by moving your throttle control forward or pressing page up. You can also use plus on the number pad to get finer control. To reduce the throttle, you use the throttle controller or press page down or minus on the number pad. To use the wheel brakes, press W. Start rolling forward and turn left onto the taxiway ahead. Press Z to steer left and X to steer right.
Ассистент, разрешаю руление на полосу 8.
Nice job. You're now heading in the right direction. Keep your taxi speed around 30 km per hour. You'll have to guesstimate that. As you taxi, use small and smooth rudder corrections to keep you aligned in the centre of the taxiway. At the fork here, turn right to reach the runway. As we taxi, you can go to the external view by pressing F2 and return to the cockpit by pressing F1. You can zoom in back to the mouse wheel or keypad start and forward taxi. Rotate the view using the mouse or keypad directional keys. We've now reached the runway threshold. Taxi onto the runway to the right and align yourself down the length of it. Once aligned down the runway, increase thrust of both engines to maximum and use gentle inputs of the rudders X and Z to keep you tracking down the centre line. When your speed, as indicated on the speed gauge in the upper left corner of the instrument panel, indicates around 250 clicks, gently pull back on the controller and allow the aircraft to fly itself off the runway. Don't bend the controller back to force the aircraft into the air. With the positive climb established, raise the landing gear by pressing G, then raise the flaps by pressing F. Well done. That concludes the lesson on starting up the Su-25A, taxiing and taking off. You can end the lesson now by pressing the escape key. Whatever you decide to do though, happy hunting.